Hey, good evening. It's Stacy, and I'm here to walk you through a little presentation that I put together. I am hoping that this serves as a little introduction for those of you who are new and a refresher for those who have been interning or volunteering, interning, helping me in the things that I do. So let's get started. Let me share with you a little bit about who we are. Welcome, volunteers. We really much value you and can't do any of the things that we do without you. So Empower International is me, and it is started in 2014, and we are an affiliate office of CIP USA. That's the Council of International Programs USA. And we are one of 5 offices, and we are the newest one here in Phoenix, Arizona. So who are we? I am Stacy Moreno. I am a social worker, and I created Empower International, and it was a way to begin building bridges for social workers. So professionals and students, really, I'm not particular for how to have greater access to the international community, to grow our own global awareness of different issues that are local and global at the same time. So it's kind of like capacity building. It's like professional development, but on a different scale. We grow as people, but we also grow professionally by looking at issues on a global level, learning about cultures, learning about people, growing our competence, and it refines us as people. So it's kind of like networking on a big scale. Like, I love to network, I love to learn about different cultures, and I help other people to do the same. So that's kind of what we can look at what we do. We build bridges, not walls, right? Yes. So CIP USA, I mentioned I'm part of them. So as soon as we birthed, we became part of this 501c3. It's a nonprofit in Cleveland, CIP USA. So they've been providing these exchanges, these meaningful opportunities for the civil servant field for over 60 years. So, police officers, judges, journalists, nonprofit leaders, media, social workers, right? But it started with, and it still has a heart of social work, was at its core. So over 60 years ago, we welcomed a group of social workers from Germany for 18 months. Back then, we didn't have the visa restrictions that we do now. We had been a Fulbright program for a while, and now we do have Department of State ability to do J1 visas and other training visas. So we are newly going to be accepting students from abroad. It's a new visa we just got, but really the heart of what we do is professionals, professional training, professional development through different types of programming. So, but away we go. That's kind of how we started. So I started teaching at community college, and with the enthusiasm and amazingness of our students, we created I created it, but with the support of them, our first trip abroad. So 20 of them went to Amsterdam with me, and mostly students, but not all. And we looked at the social service programs in many, many sectors. So it led to wanting to do more. So the following spring break, 23 of them came to Ireland, and we went from Belfast to Dublin to Galway, and really looking at community peace and reconciliation and other things in the community. So here are some pictures from us. And then the following year, 30 people, including children, we went to Nicaragua, and we did a service project. So this was really intriguing. We had 5 different, or maybe 6 different sites that we interned at. And whatever one we were assigned to, we stayed there for the week. Spanish classes and host family living, and immersion in so many different ways. So it really was life-changing and just quite unique from the other opportunities that we had. And I think we had 5 or 6 universities, faculty, professionals, families. So it really was a wonderful trip. We just went in May of this year. So I am planning more this October. So in a couple weeks, I'm headed to Kosovo with a few of you guys who are watching this and others who supported us last year in welcoming the Open World delegation from Kosovo. So we're going back to learn about their work, but also to meet with the social work programs and to learn a little bit more about their history too, since they did have a genocide not too long ago and have just an interesting culture that we're going to be learning about. So I am creating a trip to Scandinavia, into Norway, through Sweden, and out of Finland for 2 weeks in late May to early June. So that's something that we're currently working on, and we are open to everyone, but it's geared towards those who are in teaching as well as social work. And I call it the better models of doing things. So that's my version. So what do? We do inbound programs as well. So we've got what we can say short-term programs, internship type programs, and then grants. And grants are, they are short-term, but they're just funded and looked a little bit different in what they require. So short-term people can technically come if we do have a grant, or just depending on their time, 1 to 6 weeks. They may not have a J visa, maybe it's a B visa. They're still teachers or social workers, nonprofit leaders, and things like that. And there really are no age ranges. And they come to shadow. They really can't do interning, but they come to shadow, to do meetings, and to learn about things that are particular to their field, like a comparative learning. Then we have internships. So these professionals come and they stay for 3 months. So let's say they work in refugee resettlement or nonprofit management or fundraising. So we find them an internship site, or maybe 2, and they go for 4 days a week for full days, and they're all host family living. So they stay and they kind of get more immersed and more hands-on in that way. And then we have grants like the one that's coming up. The funder is the Open World Leaders, and it's Eastern European specific. It is funded through the Library of Congress, and they're 10 days. It's 1 week here, a couple days in Washington, so 10 days altogether. And it's a very, very quick program. Those are civil servants. They are mid-range leaders. They're not the beginning, and they're not the top management, and they're typically 20s to 30s, although if they are judges, they're normally a little bit older based off of the requirements to become a judge in their home country. But they're typically people who have an impact and can go home and still make a difference because they're not burnt out yet, or at the top of the top where they have no need to make improvements. So we're really supporting them to make improvements, because these are countries that have dissolved out of the Soviet Union, and they're new government. So we've got a lot of wonderful opportunities to support them. So this is a little bit about it. The Open World Leader Center is an independent government agency out of the United States Congress. So it's kind of like the pet project of the Congress. So they administer the funds. We work with well, not me particularly, but the embassies support in picking the people for our programs based off of a description that I would provide to them in advance of what I hope my target is and what we will be doing. And so I have had, typically it's 1 a year, although we got asked last minute to host a second program. The judges were in addition. So this is a little bit from their website. They all year long have various groups coming in. So you can follow Open World Leaders. It's quite fun to see the wonderful things that they are doing, and I think it'll give you a really great background. So we had the Kyrgyzstani border security, and then Kosovo. We just had judges come, and now we have another sex trafficking. And anytime now I should be getting the list of what's expected for next year. I will write some grants to see which ones I may get, and by the end of the year I'll know what 2018 looks like. We expect just one. Funding did get cut, but we got lucky this past year. Well, I don't know. The trick's on me. I don't know if I call the judges lucky. Okay, here are a few pictures. So here at the top, here's us with the Kosovo group. These were absolutely amazing. Once again, over here, us in Scottsdale. And this is Attorney General Mark Brnovich with their judges. We were, and here's our interpreter. And then this is one of the judges as well. So they are quite fun. You can see that we have meetings, and there are a lot of learning, and we're kind of sitting on the peripheral, taking pictures and ensuring that everything is okay, and, sometimes handing out water and supporting if the interpreter is having an issue with his mechanics, and, if there is a question from the host about the program, that we're there to support that in any way, but the meeting really centers around them. They kind of get the forefront of the seats, and we're kind of in the background, and we're quietly listening and not disturbing, and it really is a wonderful opportunity. So what are the expectations? So you'll get a schedule, and once we confirm what your role is, which normally is maybe picking some people up or just meeting us at the very first meeting or a particular meeting in the day and being there. So like if I have to step out to get food or to teach a class, or we had a dental emergency one time, there's other people available to get everyone from meeting to meeting, things like that. Or if we have to make a food run, so it's just nice to have extra hands available. And sometimes we have more people than we need, and that's okay. So just be part of the pack, just sit and listen and learn, but timeliness is important. Communication. So always stay in contact with us, where are you en route, if you're late, if you're early, if there's a question that someone has that you think it's important for us to know. Like, we really do value communication and think that that is a strength that we have as a volunteer group together, is that we're a team and we really do value each other. Professional attire, we're going to be meeting with attorney generals and ICE agents and police officers and, social workers. So we want to look the part. Do you have to be super formal? No, but I think that it's great to look professional, and we're ambassadors to those who don't know much about us, about who we are. And so we keep our phones on silent. We don't play on our phones when we're in meetings, where we step outside to do so. We dress the part, and I think that it really is a nice element to what we do. Kindness and patience. So we're ambassadors to these people. So sometimes normally they're not rude, but we have had some instances of some rude behavior, just a little bit. Or there's just unknowing because of the cultural differences that sometimes we think something's happening, but it really, later on, we can reflect back and realize it was something different. And it's a cultural nuance. This is many of their first time in America. And so we may, just kind of cross paths and not really understanding each other correctly. So just be kind. Just be kind, even if you're in the right and they're in the wrong. Just be kind and be patient with that aspect of exchanging with people when there could be barriers of communication and tiredness and jet lag. Jet lag and tiredness. Have a good attitude. That it's so important that we really want to show them the best of what we have and how awesome we are and why we should continue to get grants like this. Expect to have cultural misunderstandings. So as an example, one of the delegates previously was saying how she wasn't getting breakfast. And I was like, oh no, talking to the host family. But in actuality, she was. They were offering her, but there were some rituals to how it's customary to decline food various times. So just understand that there will be some cultural misunderstanding. Our role is to take a crazy amount of pictures. Just take pictures. Don't even worry about how rude it feels. They can't pay for things. I do get a budget for things, so I am happy to reimburse if you have to make a pit stop for Advil or something. We expect that many times we will have to stop for smoke breaks, and we try to account for time in that. Our facilitator, Sergey, or whoever it is, will be our support and will help us. Our role is really to kick off meetings and to introduce who we are as Empower International, what our goal is, and who the delegates are, and have them introduce themselves. The interpreter is there to help you, so we have to kind of go slow and let him do that in between. And there's always time at the end where the delegates like to give gifts, thanking the host for their time. Take pictures as groups. What do you get out of it? A great opportunity. You make new friends locally and internationally. You have things for your resume. When you're with me, I pay for your food, and if we're going out, the tab's on me. Stipend. So by helping me, I'll be able to provide you a stipend for that, and it takes up to a month to get to you. But we try our best to do that sooner if possible. So there's just a wonderful benefits, and we're really thankful for having you, being your involvement, and we're hoping that this is a wonderful experience for you too. So now's your turn to ask me questions and to let me know how else I can help you. So attached to the email I'm sending to you, I want you to watch this video. I have some other supplemental documents that I'd love for you to read over, and just give me a shout out. Okay, thanks.